observations, it also presents quantitative evidence supporting the hypothesis of the involvement of complex plasma vortex energies as the causative process behind crop formations. Is everyone with me? Dispersion of energies in worldwide crop formations. The author is W.C. Levengood and Nancy P. Tolbert. These findings reported here lend further support to the decade of research which suggests that over 95% of worldwide crop formations involved organised ion plasma vortices that deliver lower atmospheric energy components of sufficient magnitude to produce significant bending, expansion, and the formation of unique expulsion cavities in plant stem pulvini. Don't let me get away with not going into a technical paper about pulvini, how they work, and then tying it back to what we said earlier, because I think you're going to recognise how it's going on. As well as significant changes in seedling development. Here we demonstrate that, in a number of formations, quantitative node alterations can be directly related to fundamental concepts of electromagnetic energy absorption through the atmosphere. Also, in a detailed field study of simulated crop formations, we show that over-fertilization or gravitropism cannot account for observed physiological alterations. In addition, we demonstrate that details of flattened, intertwined crop patterns can be described by the application of fluid dynamics principles governing the interaction of rectilinearly moving vortex pairs. What you're going to see in this will corroborate what I believe is the most important image that I was able to capture out of the Binzhen-Huang DHX2 reactor analysis. If you remember those braided structures, we'll come back to that. Introduction. New findings reported here augment an ongoing investigation initiated in the late 1980s when samples taken from crop formations in wheat fields in southern England were first sent to the laboratory. Crop formations are flattened, swirled areas of plants, most often found in fields of commercially grown cereal plants such as wheat, barley, or oats. These flattened areas of the crop are often interspersed with areas of standing, apparently unaffected plants, the overall effect of being recognizable geometric patterns of considerable intricacy and dramatic effect. Although simple flattened circles have been reported occasionally in southern England since the 1600s, by the mid-1960s they were increasing in number, and by the late 1980s not only numbered in the hundreds each summer, but had reached a level of design complexity which included not only circles and rings, but triangular and rectangular areas with associated pathways, often reaching 1 to 125 metres in length or diameter. Most of these formations exhibited a number of features which had the farmers and local landowners mystified as to their causation. During the 1993 growing season, the British news media initiated a story subsequently circulated worldwide. So, it could be 1993 that we saw Matsumoto's news article, because it went worldwide. And that would tie in with the 1994 photo in the back of this photo album. Subsequently circulated worldwide that crop formations were the product of vandals. This assumption that all crop formations were man-made was not only accepted by much of the general public, but also apparently by the majority of scientists, in spite of the fact that there were absolutely no objective evidence presented to support such an idea. In fact, quite the opposite situation prevailed. Although not yet published in 1993, considerable data had been analysed in the laboratory, which conceptually offered a more sound and scientifically rigorous explanation. By 1994, over 80 crop formations had been sampled from USA, Canada, Australia, and England, and these plant specimens had been examined and analysed in detail at the Pinelandia Laboratory at Grass Lake, Michigan, USA. By the time these results were published in the scientific literature, Levengood 1994, it was clear that the plants from more than 95% of the sampled events revealed either single or multiple anomalous and readily apparent structural alterations. In general, these consisted of significant enlargements in the internal cell wall pit structures. Enlargements in the internal cell wall pit structures. If you had a mechanism by which water ionic bonds would rearrange themselves or weaken, then you could expect that to go to a form of water gas, and potentially that would cause internal pressure on the cells. This does not require microwave heating. I'm not saying that's not happening, but I'm saying we've observed things that are able to extract water or jellify things that might not necessarily need it to be thermal heat going on. In general, these consisted of significant enlargements in the internal cell wall pit structures, expanded and deformed stem pulvini, and gross embryonic malformations. Not one of these clearly anomalous plant alterations had been mentioned, much less explained by the proponents of the Vandal theory. Nor can they be accounted for by the supposed methods employed to create crop formations, though claims made by the self-described Vandals. One remarkable feature of plants within crop formations, which upon laboratory examination displayed retarded or completely terminated embryo or seed. So here we go. Displayed retarded or completely terminated embryo or seed development, was the fact that the somatic tissue and external appearance of the plants were normal, thus producing a situation which cannot be explained by ionizing radiation or chemicals, both known to alter development within somatic tissues. In addition, seeds taken from flattened plants in the formations regularly disclosed either increased or decreased seedling growth. These changes were closely associated with a particular growth stage at the time the crop formation energies became evident in the field. At the present time, more than 250 crop formations have been examined in a growing list of countries as the phenomenon becomes more widely recognized and reported. Not only does the research reported here verify earlier observations, it also presents quantitative evidence supporting the hypothesis of the involvement of complex plasma vortex energies as the causative process behind crop formations. Is everyone with me?